Hey everybody, this is Dan with Pain Free You. I wanted to talk about this topic, and it has to do with the assessments. And I get this question a lot. Dan, my pain doesn't move, so it can't be TMS, right? TMS has to move. No, that is one of many different characteristics of symptoms that can rule in this thing called TMS, or as I refer to it, perceived danger pain. Before I dig into it, I'm going to relax. I don't know if you can hear them. And I don't like this time of year. We're getting the cicadas. You hear them? This is going to limit my outdoor shooting, because I will tell you, sometimes they can be very grating and noisy. And the funniest thing is, I did a video on how to calm your nervous system, and I did it outside when the cicadas were screaming. I had a number of people commenting that I can't take that noise while you know. So I just realized they're out. They're making noise. Cicada boy. All right. So, topic here is, what if my pain doesn't move? Can it still be TMS, PDP, perceived danger pain? My flat out answer is yes, it can be. It is known pretty well in the TMS community that one of the characteristics of TMS is that the pain can move. But that's not a mandatory thing. It's not in every situation needs to have that in order for it to still be TMS PDP. All right? It's one of the many characteristics that you can use to rule in. So if your symptoms move even a little bit, it's evident that the brain is the cause, not a physical body injury, right? And when I say a little bit, I mean, does it move from the right side of the foot to the left side of the foot? Does your sitting pain move a little bit from the left side to the right side, even if it seems to be a little bit? Because if it was a physical structural thing, that wouldn't happen, right? It wouldn't happen. The brain can certainly cause things to move. So I'm going to refer you to the FIT assessment. Go to isthispdp.com, and I'm going to run through these questions. Because if you think the only determining factor of TMS is whether or not the symptoms move, then you're missing out on the fact that there are many characteristics that we use to rule in this thing called mind-body symptoms, right? Now I'm going to run through these reasonably quick. I won't belabor it. But there are functional things. So, did the symptoms begin without physical precipitation, meaning some kind of injury or, illness or something like that? Again, one, you don't need all of these, right? And not all of them are required. So, symptoms persist after an injury has healed, 3 to 6 months, right? The body heals. So, symptoms are in a distribution pattern that is symmetric. So your right shoulder and your left shoulder hurts, right? Things like that. Symptoms occur on one whole side of the body or occur on half of the face, head, or torso. So it's on one side, but not both. That is also indicative. And I know we could pick this apart and argue every one of these points and say, well, something else. Let's not do that, right? This assessment was created by medical doctors who practice clinically for decades in the mind-body space. They've seen thousands of patients, and they understand how to say, if your symptoms behave like this, it's a mind-body thing, not a body-body thing. So I'm going to trust the decades worth of medical, clinical evidence and experience in defining this stuff. And I know some people want to argue it. And to those people, I'm going to say, why are you arguing to prove that you're broken when, in fact, this can be enough evidence to prove that you're not so that you can move forward and begin teaching the brain? It seems like some people are saying, I just can't believe it. No, because there's this one little thing that makes me doubt it. My mind loops on that. Don't look for reasons to doubt this. Look for reasons to believe it. Okay, let me keep going. Symptoms spread over time to different areas of the body. Pain starts in one area, before you know it, you got pain in a whole bunch of areas. Symptoms radiate to the opposite side of the body, or down a whole leg or arm. I had sciatica. It would radiate down here. At one point, it was short term, it wasn't chronic, but I had some neck pain, and I had symptoms radiating down my whole arm, right? It was a mind-body thing. It wasn't a physical thing. Symptoms may occur in many different body parts at the same time. Symptoms may have a quality of tingling, electric, burning, numb, hot, or cold, right? These are brain things. Inconsistencies, right? And that's where people say, oh, does it move? So symptoms shift from one location of the body to another. It doesn't have to shift from like my knee to my shoulder, right? A shift of this much can still be a mind-body thing. Yeah, bear with me a second. My phone's blowing up. So symptoms are more or less depending on the time of day. They occur first thing in the morning or in the middle of the night, right? The brain's doing that, not the body. Symptoms occur after but not during an activity or exercise. Got it. So what if your symptoms occur during an exercise? Does that rule out TMS? No, it doesn't. Because if your brain perceives danger while you're exercising, it can absolutely make it hurt during the exercise or movement. But if you can also exercise and it hurts the next day, that's proof. Right? These are not 100% inclusive in every single scenario. Symptoms occur when one thinks about them or when somebody asks about them. I see that all the time. People say, I was feeling great, and then I wondered, oh, this is cool. I thought about my symptoms, and boom, there they were. That's proof that it's a mind-body thing, because physical pain doesn't do that. Symptoms occur when stresses increase or one thinks about stressful situations. Symptoms are minimal or non-existent when engaged in a joyful or distracting activity, such as when on vacation, or going out with friends, or whatever it may be. Symptoms are minimal or non-existent after some kind of therapy, such as massage, chiropractic, Reiki, acupuncture, or herbal vitamin supplement. In my opinion, those things may convey to the brain that I'm safe, and therefore symptoms can come down, right? Perceived danger is a problem, safety is a solution. So anything that conveys safety can cause the symptoms to become minimal or non-existent. Now, triggered. Symptoms are triggered by things that are not related to the actual symptoms, such as foods, smells, sounds, light, computer screens, monthly cycles, changes in the weather. Those things should not influence the symptoms. If that happens, TMS, perceived danger symptoms. Symptoms are triggered by the anticipation of stress, such as prior to school, work, a doctor visit, a medical test, visit to a relative, or social gathering, right? So if the symptoms are triggered by thinking about those things, it's proof. It's mind-body. Symptoms that are triggered by simply imagining, engaging in the triggering activity, such as imagining bending over, turning the neck, sitting, or standing, right? If symptoms come on when you imagine it, that's more proof. Symptoms that are triggered by a light touch or innocuous stimuli, such as the wind or the cold, more proof. The wind and the cold, those things don't harm the body. So, this is the FIT assessment. It is at isthispdp.com. If your symptoms don't move, here's the other thing that's really key. Perceived danger is creating the symptoms. If the symptoms don't move from a certain location, how solid is your belief that you have an injury or a problem in that location? How big is your fear? How big is the perceived danger? So, for example, somebody will say, my knee hurts all the time, every day, all the time. Okay, what's your belief about the knee? Oh, the surgeon messed up my surgery, so I believe it's jacked up, it's messed up. Okay, what's your fear level of moving with it? Oh, I'm terrified. Okay. All of those things, that the perception of danger is constant, therefore the pain is going to be constant. Don't rule out the mind-body syndrome just because you're terrified and believe that you're broken. you can still have the brain perceiving danger and causing the symptoms. So why are you arguing for being broken when in fact we can argue to say I'm actually okay? That makes sense? Look for evidence in your own life that when you are enjoying yourself, engaged in something useful, that the symptoms come down. That's proof. That was one of the items here, and inconsistent. So go to isthispdp.com. Read through the FIT questions on that page. Look, there is a link for a pain test. I think this gives you a better idea. Because sometimes if the pain is consistent, you may not score as well on the pain test. Don't let that dissuade you. It doesn't have to be a high score on both, right? FIT assessment, do it. If you're in doubt, do it. If you are fearful and terrified and your pain is constant, that could be why. So, I'm going to wrap this one up. And I'm going to have to listen for these cicadas before I come out here and shoot. Might be doing a lot more shots inside. So, love you all. Hope you had a great weekend. And as always, we'll see you tomorrow. Take care.